All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am here for a Sunday Black History Month live stream. Of course, one of the hashtags on Facebook is BHM 365, so we should be celebrating our history and learning more about our history throughout the year, not just the shortest month of the year. It's hard to believe that this month is almost over. Today is the 22nd, and in about 6 more days, 2 months in 2026 will be down with 10 more to go. And there's already been a lot that's happened personally and across the world. All right, so today, I don't think I might have one more interview lined up. If I have to see if the person is available. I'm going to try to squeeze in two more this week under this theme, which will be hard because I have to commute to the office every day and then get back and then do this and then get up early enough in the morning to get out. So my goal is to do 2 more. I do want to do something on Shahrazad Ali. And also I do, Man of Tomorrow is distracting me. I want to do something on Shahrazad Ali, and I also want to look through Passport OG's library to see if to see what's there, because there's so much there. So let me see what Man of Tomorrow has to say. Let's see. He says, content, dude, those red eyes, man, those red eyes are very scary. He says, content creators are not the sender as accomplished Black men outside of entertainment. Content creators are not the sender as accomplished Black men outside of entertainment. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Okay, so if you want to elaborate, feel free to go ahead and elaborate. Cynical Optimist is usually the first one in. He says, salute Dr. Dunbar. Thank you, Cynical Optimist, for being here. All right, so today I'm going to pay tribute to a channel, an individual, and a channel. There are actually 3 that I think have been doing God's work, particularly for Black men. And I'm going to show you why, and I'm going to personalize it and talk about why some of this person's content resonates with me, and why and other Black men, and why I wish that I had discovered it earlier. And much of it you've heard already in terms of my personal story, but I think there's something to why this individual's content has resonated with so many Black men, and why the messaging and the perspectives are important, even though they may offend some people. So with that, I'm going to play my Dr. Ronald Neal intro. Salute to the Math Professor. And on the other side, we will talk about the accountable commentary and Blackout channels, Black History Month, productive Black men, and the Urban Dictionary. I'll see you on the other side. So, where did this topic come from? So I'm going to admit that because of where I come from, see, in this world, we're all living in different worlds, and not everybody is privy to the same information.
And why is it that we don't have community? Like I said, I talked about the Nigerians. They don't want, they start introducing OnlyFans in Africa. Now, they got trafficking, they got all kinds of sexual stuff going on there. But there are certain things that are Western that are being introduced in Africa, in those countries, that are not African, that are not a part of their traditional orientation. And when they can recognize that that tells you that they have something that makes them who they are. And that's one of the reasons why when they come over here to the U.S., even though they're not as enlightened as we would like them to be, that's one of the reasons why they separate themselves from us. So the reason the Nigerians separate themselves from us, the Ghanaians separate themselves from us because they have a clear idea of who they are and what they're not. And that says a lot about this whole notion of community.
So, where did this topic come from? So I'm going to admit that because of where I come from, see, in this world, we're all living in different worlds, and not everybody is privy to the same information. All right, everyone, welcome back to Big Discussions 76. My name is Dr. Anwar Yusuf Dunbar. I am a scientist, author, blogger, and content creator. And being a blogger, I've written numerous Black history pieces. And I've, as a annual ritual here or practice here, I do Black history content here. And one of the things I like to say, and one of the things I like to pride myself in, is that it might not be the Black history that you like. It might not be the Black history that you know. It might not be the Black history that you want to hear about, but it's Black history nonetheless. And so while we spend a lot of time celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King and Sojourner Truth and Representative John Lewis and Barack Obama and Ketanji Brown Jackson, while we spend a lot of time celebrating all these things, there's also a dark underbelly regarding our community and our history in this country. And there are a lot of half-truths, and there are quite a few incomplete truths and histories that are told. With that, I'm going to do a quick advertisement. So my brother Amal Dunbar is in the merchandise game now. So he's making merchandise on Black inventors and Black scientists. And I'm wearing his Elijah McCoy design right now. So this is my brother Amal Dunbar's design. He also has one out now for Alice Parker. I don't have that memorized. I should have that memorized. Elijah McCoy made the self-lubricating engine, also known as the real McCoy. And Alice Parker made a contribution to HVAC. Okay. So a lot of our history, particularly this part, inventors, scientists, this is not thoroughly told. These stories are not thoroughly told. So that's the power in this merchandise, in addition to how good it looks. So I'm going to leave my brother Amal Dunbar's email address. I think that's how he's capturing his sales and his interest now in the comment section. And also I will leave it, if I can remember, I will leave it in the description box of this video. So let me write this here. If anyone is interested, you can reach out to him. And these are, I like to call these his first generation shirts and merch. So there will be others on the way. Okay, today's feature presentation, the Accountable Commentary and Blackout channels, Black History Month, Productive Black Men, that's what that stands for, the BM, and the Urban Dictionary. So at the start of this month and at the end of January, I wanted to do something on the Urban Dictionary because as a race and a subgroup in this experiment that is the United States, we've not only made our own contributions, but we also have our, in many ways, our own vernacular and our own subculture. Well, we do have our own subculture, and there's a language that goes with that. And as I'm thinking about this, salute to Dr. T.S.on Johnson. He did a really good stream last night on that Clifton Powell roundtable discussion. But one of Dr. T.S.on Johnson's really important contributions is that he started giving us words. So in his effort to establish and build out Black masculinism, if you don't know what that is, you can go back in my library and watch it. He's given us words to describe things that we as Black men have experienced growing up, but we just didn't know what they were, why they were happening, and how to describe them, so we could make better decisions for our futures, and we could avoid these things altogether or counteract them, and so on, et cetera, et cetera. So words. So for years, we've had there's been a quote unquote urban dictionary. If you look it up on Google, you will see an urban dictionary. Okay. And as leading up to this stream, I was thinking of words that are kind of commonplace now. And so I assembled a 2026 Big Discussions 76 Urban Dictionary. So I'm going to go over some of these words, and then we're going to jump into accountable commentaries. I'm going to show pieces of 3 of his offerings, and I'm going to show one entire one. So hopefully I can finish in an hour or just over. AB Media, salute to you. Thank you for your hard work as the Black Manosphere's political pundit. I did peek into what you were doing last night before I drifted off. It was FD signifier on that panel with the lovely lawyer next to him. And I was watching that discussion. All right. So let's go over some vocabulary words from the Urban Dictionary, from this version of the Urban Dictionary, before hopping into this content. All right. And the other reason I wanted to create this, the other reason I'm fascinated with this concept of an urban dictionary is that, there's a generational thing, so when individuals from my mother's generation, for example, when they watch our content, and even in conversation, they don't know what certain things are. So there's a generational thing, and I'm sure that they were saying things that their parents didn't understand. So there's a just like the music evolves, the language evolves. Okay, so words, and you guys, please give me a reaction to any of this. I'm going to sprint through this, and so I can get onto the video. So these are words that I came up with. So I divided this into archetypes, adjectives, verbs, and things. Okay, archetypes, adjectives, verbs, and things. So some of these terms will come up in the content that I'm going to show you from the Accountable Commentary channel. So over here under archetypes, and I think we're all smart enough to know what archetypes are. Well, let's just look that up really, really quickly. Archetype. On my channel, I like for us to learn things. Archetype. Please smash that like button no matter how long you stay. If you're new to the channel, if you're watching on the playback, please consider subbing the channel. So according to AI Overview, an archetype is an original, universally recognized model, character type, or pattern of behavior that recurs across literature, mythology, and human psychology. Derived from Carl Jung's concept of the collective unconscious, these symbolic, inherited, and recurring motifs help define human experiences, emotions, and narratives. So archetypes. All right. With that working definition, let's jump in. Okay, so I'm going to scroll through these. So Becky, the Urban Dictionary. And if you notice, I have a piece of corn up there next to dictionary. Becky, bedbench / mammy, bootlicker, boulet, Brad, ConcuServe. That's from Dr. T.S.on Johnson. Coon, educated lame, Hector, hyena, hoodrat, Karen, Keisha, Lingling, lioness, Maria, Mr. Goodbar, the Octanes, 85 through 100. That's from BGS Ibmore. Passport Bro, Pookie, productive black men. The rat community, Tether, Tyrone, Trap Queen. These are all archetypes. These are all terms that are used here on the YouTube streets. These are terms that are used outside of the YouTube streets. Let's see. There was one Mr. Goodbar, Tether, Tyrone, and I can revisit these in particular as the stream goes on or afterwards. But one that's going to come up later is productive black men, and this is one of the things I really, really appreciate from Accountable Commentary. And sir, if you're watching this, I hope you don't mind me showing a little bit of your content. But in his videos, he constantly talks about and shouts out, quote unquote, productive black men. Productive black men. Okay? Productive black men. And I'm going to get to the significance of what that is before the stream is over. But that is a specific group. And you could argue that productive black men is the opposite of Pookie. So for those of you who don't know who Pookie is, I was first introduced to the term Pookie probably in 2016 after I started blogging. I started writing about financial literacy. I started writing about investing, saving money, the law of compounding interest, things that productive black men, quote unquote, would be interested in. And someone at work, a single mother, okay, she looked at that when I shared it with her, and she said, well, what are you writing for Pookie? And I said, well, what are you talking about? And she said, what are you writing for Pookie? Because Pookie won't be interested in, or Pookie won't understand interest rates and net worths and matching contributions and the law of compounding interest. So later, I found out Pookie was an archetype. It comes from Chris Rock's character in New Jack City. That's Pookie. Pookie is your downtrodden, underachieving, in and out of jail black man. Okay, maybe he's a baby father. Maybe he's got a record. Maybe he's on the street trapping every day. But that's Pookie. All right. So the second column, adjectives: ashy, baby daddy, baby mama, Blake. That's from Kevin Samuels. Let's see if I can run it off. Brad, Lee, Ahmed, Keith, and Enrique. Okay, those are terms that Kevin mentioned on his show for high value men of all races. Bougie, Blue Henry. That Henry is a term Kevin used on the show for high earner, not rich yet. Those could be white collar or blue collar. Coon, corny, degreed, divester, drip, dusty, Henry, high earner, not rich yet, high value man, hood booger, male centered, master of the universe. Okay, those are top 1%, 0.1% men. Passport bro. Okay, that's in both columns. Pick me, queens, ratchet, scrub, simp, strong and independent, swag, unbothered. Okay. An Urban Dictionary. Let me see if there's anything below that ticker. Yep. Unbothered. Also washed. Okay, washed. That's a term Accountable Commentary uses in his content all of the time. Does anyone have any comments on any of that thus far? I see some more people have come in. Please smash that like button. No matter how long you stay, if anyone wants to donate to the channel, my information is there in the ticker, and you can leave a super chat if you see fit. 2 more categories before I jump into the content here. Yeah. Verbs or actions: glowing up, living my best life, simping, talking greasy / sick, slick, talking greasy / slick. Shout out to you. That's from Jason Black. Trapping, turning up. Okay, so those are actions. Those are actions or doings that you hear typically when talking amongst people of color, depending upon which sector you're in. And then finally, things. Baby hairs, Black Girl Magic, houses in Virginia, J's, those are Jordans, lace fronts, matriarchy, OnlyFans, patriarchy, the gram, and quarter zips. So this is just a loose list of modern Urban Dictionary terms that I thought would be fun to capture here, because these are things that people are saying and talking about in conversation today here in the YouTube streets and then on the outside. And in this content that I'm going to feature, this gentleman has created some of those terms on the list, like the rat community, but also he uses some, and some of these terms are used in other circles, like Keisha. Keisha is used quite a bit now in conversation, but it means something specific beyond just the name. All right, are there any comments before I keep going here? All right, folks are being a little shy today. So this one, I wanted to start with this one from the Accountable Commentary channel. I'm going to play about 10 to 15 minutes. This is a live stream, okay? And this one particularly spoke to me and my experience as a quote-unquote productive Black man. Before I jump into this, what is a productive Black man? Anybody? Let's do a quick Q&A. I don't know if AB Media is still there, but what is a quote-unquote productive Black man? And what is the significance of that vocabulary term? Productive Black man. Are there any takers out there before I jump into this live stream? Productive Black men. Anybody? Are there any brave souls out there who are willing to take a stab at that? Let's see. Thank you all for the likes. I will wait probably another minute to see if there are any takers. If not, I will fill in the blanks. Productive Black men. Who are the productive Black men? What are the productive Black men? Why does that term matter? Let me look at my clock here. I'll go 30 more seconds. Are there any takers on this? Productive Black man, anybody? Let's see. Thank you. Thank you for your participation. No one was saying anything, so I'm thinking, okay, this folks might not be resonating with this. But Brent C says, "Good afternoon, all. Productive Black men are everywhere." Okay, but that doesn't say what they are. So I'll give you a hint. Okay, this is a blog post that I wrote probably about 9 years ago. This is called The Story of How I Earned My STEM Degree. Okay, so you're looking at a productive Black man. A productive Black man is working towards something. A productive Black man is inventive, studious, diligent, as Accountable Commentary will describe, disciplined, perhaps regimented, focused, okay? And he's usually building towards something. So if his energies are focused on building towards something, or building something, or researching something, that means he's probably not out in the streets right? He's probably not out at the clubs turning up. He's probably in a research lab working on something the general public may find obscure and something that the general public might not understand. Okay. He may not know the latest fashions. He may not know, the latest thing, the latest trend. Okay. But he's well read. He's well studied. He's probably on his way to, if he's not building a business, he's probably on his way to building a business or securing an advanced degree or creating the next invention. Okay. Those are productive Black men. Okay. They're typically not speaking the language of the layperson. Again, they're usually not up on the latest trends. Financially, they're probably saving money. They're probably investing their money. They're probably not tricking their money or blowing their money on stuff that they don't need. So in some instances, productive Black men, depending on who you talk to, they could be classified as an educated lame or lame. Okay. They could be characterized as corny. Okay. That's why I use the corn on the cob there. That term makes me laugh. Those are productive Black men. They might have some elements of style, but those things, the luxuries, all the bells and whistles, the style over the substance, those are not high on their list. So I really appreciate that Accountable Commentary speaks particularly to my demographic, productive Black men. Okay. And we didn't have a name. Growing up, we didn't have a name. No one, there was no name for us other than those well-spoken, studious guys. Okay. But you need to know, if you're in that camp, what to look out for and who your tribe is and who you should associate with and who you should not associate with. Productive Black men. All right, let's jump into the first video here. In this content, I think something that we're dealing with now as a community, this content very much speaks to this. All right, this is from blackdemographics.com. This very much speaks to George Frazier's quest. All right, so this is on blackdemographics.com, and this figure says Black men more likely to be married than white men up until 1960. Okay, that's where you see the unmarried rate start to tick upward for Black men, and then for Black women, you start to see it tick up around the same time. So much of Accountable Commentary's content and messaging, it speaks to that. All right. So let's jump into this first offering here. I'm going to play about 10 minutes of this. This is a live stream. So if you are watching, this is in tribute to you and your work. And I'm saying this is my way of saying, in addition to the super thanks that I've left, that I appreciate what you do, and more younger potential productive Black men need to see and hear stuff like this, because in our community, so many of these men, if they don't grow up in the right circumstances, they are alienated and misunderstood. And then once they get into the adult world, there are struggles there as well. There can be struggles there as well. I'm going to let this one play for about 10 minutes. And then I have 3 others. Then I'm going to hop to those. You guys let me know what you think there in the comment section. Okay, give me 1 second here. Andre, how's the weather in Canada? It's supposed to snow here, but a little bit, but it's just rainy for now. All right, fair use. You guys can see why I went with the black screen for the thumbnail for this one. I'm going to close the super chat here so those guys can stay anonymous. Fair use.
The definition for the bare minimum is the absolute least amount of effort or input required to meet a basic standard, expectation, or obligations.
Are any of you guys familiar with this channel? Okay. So this one is called The Bare Minimum That Black Men Don't Receive. The Bare Minimum That Black Men Don't Receive. Let me turn that up. And he has a very, very distinct voice. A very distinct voice. The bare minimum that black men don't receive.
The bare minimum. The definition for the bare minimum is the absolute least amount of effort or input required to meet a basic standard, expectation, or obligations. That's the definition of the bare minimum. Now, I want to talk about what it takes to be successful out there as black men.
Bishop Digest, thank you for this. He says, of course, AC is a legend. Yeah, I was watching something. It might have been watching this entire thing, but he said that he was around probably even before Tommy and I think the Black Manosphere 1.0, or was it 2.0? So he's been around for a minute. And the bare minimum, so just keep in mind that if you've watched Dr. T.S. Johnson's content, he said numerous times that in his classes, the black men, when he's asked this, the young black men, in terms of what they could or should ask for in a relationship, most of them don't expect anything. Okay, while the girls at those young ages already have these long lists. So the young men are coming in often with nothing in terms of requirements or asks, and just want some company. So that starts, in large part, that starts things off at an imbalance. Okay, so that's what I started thinking about that when he just started talking about the bare minimum. Were you guys taught to ask for anything from your family, from ladies you would come in contact with? And by the way, I'm not a dating channel, so I'm not giving dating advice. I'm capturing something historic here, what I consider to be historic. Fair use.
First of all, it takes discipline. It takes discipline. Salute to Steve with the super chat. Salute. It takes discipline. It takes discipline. It takes hard work. It takes dedication. And it takes patience in order to be successful. Patience is the key.
Okay, so guys, okay, I gotta do this. So I showed you this essay, the story of how I earned my STEM degree. The things that AC just described, those are all the things that it took for me to earn my PhD. And I told the story, and I even say it in this essay. At that time, I got involved with someone who, because of my involvement with her, I almost didn't finish. And it's because of those things that AC just described. They went against, even though at that time this person was working on their master's, it went against what she thought life should be. So this is part of the challenge of being a quote unquote productive Black man, being disciplined and patient and hardworking. Those go counter to those go counter to a lot of potential dating options and ladies that you'll meet even in school. Okay, so when he said that, that really, really resonated with me. All right, let's go back. So when you're pursuing something, when you're out to do something, you have to be very, very selective about who you have around you during the process and even afterward. Please smash that like button.
Patience is the key here. How long did it take for you to be where you at, Black men? How long did it take for you to master your craft? How long did it take to get you in a position where you're comfortable? 5, 10, 15 years? 20 years? No, right. Like 20 years. It took you a while, right?
Whether or not you're a white collar guy, or if you are a guy who has built a business, or even if you're a pro athlete, I'll say even pro athletes, those guys have spent 20 years training to get to that big stage. So one of the things you hear, one of the things I learned coming to YouTube and even starting to read books like The Value of Others, men have to build their value. They have to build to become something or somebody. So it takes time to build to that place. It doesn't happen overnight.
Took you a while to where you can say, you know what, I am a success. I'm comfortable. It took you a while to get there. Not only did it take you a while to get there, I'm seeing brothers say a decade. It took you years. It took you years. So, since it took you years, right? Yeah, right. 5, 10, 15. Most brothers, it takes them a while, 15, 20 years, right? It took you a while, right? Not only did it take you a while, what they don't show is the scars. You don't show the bruising. You don't show the setbacks. You don't show a lot of these things that happen. You just don't show it. They don't show what you went through in order to be successful. That's not being shown because you don't show it. All you do is keep going. All they do is what you keep. So it took you all this time to build up to be a successful man.
Hold on.
And all you ask for is the bare minimum. And understand what I'm about to say to you, Black men. The things that they're asking you for, they're asking you for your lifeline. They asking for your life.
So for all the detractors for men's content on YouTube, where do you learn this? Where do you learn that you've taken the time to build yourself, to build investments, to acquire assets? Where does this come from, and where do you learn this if your family doesn't teach you? All right, and the significance of that question is coming up.
Inf said 5 to 10 years of being dolo or not having fun unless it was rest. Yes, exactly. Yes. Salute the black men. So that's Josh. Salute the black men. Salute to the brothers on the Patreon. Salute to the brothers on YouTube. Be careful and stay safe in that snow. Salute, Josh. Biko, what's happening? Salute to all productive black men. We got. Continue to build brick by brick. Salute, Biko. So, with the salute to the brothers. With the super chat. Salute, I appreciate it. Here's the thing. What they're asking you for is literally your lifeline, right?
So at this point, he's talking about your female counterparts. Okay, so this gets to once you put in all these hours of school, once you put in all these hours of building assets or saving, building businesses, whatever you're doing, who is supposed to be there with you? Who are you supposed to invite into your life? Okay, are you supposed to allow disrespect? Are you supposed to allow all of your assets to be spent up over someone else's whims and what someone else thinks is a good life? Okay, versus what you're asking for. Who's supposed to be there with you? Okay, if no one tells you this, how are you ever going to find out? Fair use.
Hey, they're asking for your lifeline. So the things they're asking you for cost money. The things they are asking you for cost money. And the money that they're asking you for took you years to build. Follow where I'm going, black man. It took you years to build this. You understand? It didn't just come to you. It took you years to build this. So here we go. They want you to have a nice job, a good career, making 6 figures or better, right? They want you to have a house, right? They want you to have a nice car. They want you to buy them things. They want you to they want you to take them on expensive trips. These things cost.
There you go. I don't know if any of you guys watch Mr. Z, but Mr. Z plays the clip of the woman, the pompous woman who says, we are women. You need us. House, car, job. Okay, so we're living in a very transactional era. But this is also discussed in the value of others by Dr. Orion Taraban. Men and women are transacting different things. Women are usually transacting for resources. Men are usually transacting for sexual access. Okay, that's written in this book. Okay, but he's getting to what AC is getting to is what's the exchange. Okay, the things that men are typically asking for. What he's going to describe being pleasant to be around, being good to look at, nice to look at, being cooperative and aligned. Those things don't cost anything, but tangible costs, dollar amounts, are typically asked from us. Fair use. You guys keep letting me know what you guys think there in the chat.
These things cost. All these things that I just mentioned cost money. Big money at that. It took you 20 years, 10 to 20 years to build that up, and they just want it.
Why are you still paying interest on your credit card balance when you don't have to? A balance transfer card with 0%.
Let's see. What is it they want? What is it that you want? Excuse me. What is it that you want, black men? Let's see. You want cooperation. You want respect. You want loyalty, right? You want feminine energy, right? And guess what? Those things don't cost nothing. Those things cost Nathan. Do you hear me? Those things cost nothing. It's free. The things that you're asking for is free.
So, so the significance of this again is you know, you've been in school X amount of years. Once you get done, okay, you're expected to have resources and you're expected to be able to pay for trips, pay all the bills, provide a lifestyle. Okay. And so a lot of things have changed, but certain things are still expected of men. So the significance of this is to think about, okay, what are you transacting? What do you deserve in return? What's the what's the bare minimum? What's the bare minimum you should expect? Remember, Dr. T.S. Johnson said a lot of young men have come into his classes not expecting anything, with no list. But for all of your work, what are you supposed to get in return?
And here's the kicker. You can't even get that. That's what you call the bare minimum. You can't even get that, black man. You're asking for something that's free, and you can't even get that. Let that sink in. Don't just let that slide by. Don't just let that slide by. Let that sink in for a while, black man. Seriously, let that sink in. Please don't just let that slide. Let that sink in. The things that you asking for, they can give it to you in a snap of a finger. The things that they're asking you for, it took you 20 years to build. $20 years. $20 years it took you to build that.
So you have to think about this also in the context of going back to the blackdemographics.com divorce chart. You're also thinking about this in terms of marriage, starting a family. Well, maybe think about that. But I think for previous generations, I don't think that it was the same for them. Okay. Grandpa worked, grandpa provided. And so it was a lot more easily defined what the transaction was going to be. And now it's all over the place. But the expectation is that the man will still provide a lifestyle, he'll still provide. Okay. But, you know, what are you supposed to get in return for your provision? Are you supposed to get disrespect? Are you supposed to get stress? Are you supposed to get all of the resources being spent up on frivolous things? This last point, I'm going to play it out to the last point where he talks about what working actually is. Okay, what securing these resources and building these things actually are. Fair use.
It took you 20 years of saving, 20 years of investing, 20 years of being responsible. It took you 20 years of discipline.
I can turn your wildest ideas into a song. Just describe it in a few words, choose a style, and let Mareka V
Biko with the super chat. Keisha so poor she can't pay attention or respect. She can't pay attention or respect because she don't respect you. She don't respect your hard work. She don't respect anything about you. It's all give me, give me, give me, give me. That's all it is. Just give me. The thing is, you have to look at it like, wait a minute, give you what? Give you what I put my life on the line for? Give you what I put my blood, sweat, and tears into?
So he regularly on his channel, let me bring the dictionary back up. He regularly and jokingly talks about Keisha over there in the archetypes column. So Keisha. So the question I'm going to ask the audience, and I think this is something a lot of people don't think about, is Keisha. And Keisha is a very, very popular. Keisha is talked about a lot, quite a bit. Is Keisha in college? Is Keisha degreed? Is Keisha your academic counterpart? Okay. Is he just talking about poor Black women? Okay.
This ain't just money. This ain't just money. I look at it as your life. And to give you an example, I'm going to give you this example. A long time ago, I had to be in my early 20s. I said to a friend of mine that was all into designer, he was making around, he was working some job making around maybe around $700 a week. He was young too. He was making like $700 a week. He had a side gig, but for the job that he was doing, I think he was making like $700 a week. 22, no responsibility. 23, no responsibility, right? He used to buy these belts, buy these shoes, and these belts would be costing like $300-$400. And I had to break it down to him. I had to say, that's not just your money, man. That's your life. You mean to tell me you buying a belt that's $400 and you get paid what $700-$800 a week? So you mean to tell me half of your life for that week went to that belt?
Okay, I'm going to play a few more minutes of this, but right now he's talking about a friend, someone who knew in his 20s, who was taking the bulk of his earnings and spending it on belts, on fashion. Okay, so what he's talking about here is we are trading our lives at work. We're trading our lives for these salaries we're making or these wages we're making. We're trading our lives. So are you willing to trade your life for frivolous things? And this is something that manifests when pairing off as well. Are you willing to you're spending your life, your health, your well-being on these jobs? What are you getting in return for that? All right, outside of work, in your personal life.
Half of your life for that week in work went to that belt. You sound insane to me. You sound insane to me. if you have a job and you make, $30 an hour, right? You make, let's just say $30 an hour, right? And you go and buy a pair of shoes. That's like $500, right? How many hours did you have to put in to buy those shoes? That's how I look at work. It's your life. It's not just work. You're giving your life. You're giving your energy. You're giving your years. This is what it is. It's not just work. It's your life.
I think I'm going to stop that one there. That one is below in the description box in case anyone wants to watch it, but I'm going to try to tie it together with other things. So in my community tab, I shared this last weekend. I just published this essay. It's in my community tab. This was more so about, this is called I Don't Eat at Chain Restaurants, Painful Lessons in Both Fine Dining, in both fine and inexpensive dining. Okay, so this essay is about more than just eating per se. It's about what he just talked about: trading your life, trading your time, trading your well-being. Substitute that belt that he just talked about for a meal. How much is it worth to you to go eat at a Michelin star restaurant, to impress someone by taking her to Ruth Chris or a Michelin star restaurant? Is that worth your life once you've built to wherever you've built to? Okay, these are things that I think for at least in my life, they weren't explained early on. Okay, but I saw a lot of value in that live stream that he did. What is it worth to you? Is it worth your life? Guys, please smash that like button if anyone wants to donate to the channel. My information is there in the ticker, and the super chat is live. So that's one. The second one, some of you may have seen this. A current event. One thing that's happening is there are single mixers happening, and men are not. Hold on. Okay, so there are a lot of single mixers taking place, and a lot of men are not showing up. Okay, and then one of the questions is, why are the men not showing up? Well, this lady who AC featured in this video, she went on TikTok and talked about, she was in Charlotte visiting, and she went on TikTok talking about how bad the single mixer was that she went to. Okay, this video gets to what fathers have taught their daughters, and are some parents, are some fathers looking at their daughters and saying, okay, maybe she's the problem. Maybe the fact that she hasn't met anybody, maybe it's my daughter. Okay, that's the crux of this video. It's a very interesting video because I think as men in a lot of our families, if you're part of the 54% like I am, they're looking at you and saying, okay, well, how come you haven't met anyone, or how come you haven't sired any grandchildren, any children? Okay, the other side of that is, well, what are the women looking for, and what do the women want? Okay, this one gets to that. I will we'll get through as much of this one as we can, but I think this is an important video here. Thank you to Bishop Digest for the $2.99 super sticker. Much appreciated. Thank you. If you all remember Kendra, I get Kendra G mixed up with Kendra D. think it's Kendra G. Kendra D was Crimson Cure. Kendra G, she brought her father online, and he basically told her, baby, you deserve everything. Baby, you're the bomb. You're the bomb. So if a man doesn't measure up to you, then he's the problem. Okay, so in my opinion, fathers like that have contributed to community-wide and society-wide problems. So, but let's listen to what this lady has to say. And AC. He likes to play this little spoof at the beginning of a lot of his videos. This white woman right here is spoofing black women. Stereotypical black women. Keisha. These are behaviors associated with Keisha. Fair use.
Hey, where was you at? Why wasn't you? You didn't answer your phone. I don't care what you got to say. Hey, where you at? Oh, traffic do be crazy at this time, for real. You hungry? Well, I made spaghetti, but if you want that, I can make that. We can just have double. Okay, baby, I'll see you soon. Love you. Can't wait to see you. That's why they like us.
So that joke is a caricature of Keisha. Okay, and it gets to, she says that's why they like us. Okay, so Keisha, at the beginning, she's like, hey, where you at? So he had to tell her, okay, well, traffic was thick after work. I couldn't get straight home. And then she switches over to what, in theory, how a white woman would respond. And, it's understanding. Okay, yeah, traffic is bad. I made spaghetti. Oh, you want something else? Well, we can eat both. So she made a joke about Keisha and why the black men who have gone to other races have gone to other races. That's the significance of that joke, and that's why AC plays it. Fair use.
Interesting. I was talking to my dad yesterday. So it was really interesting. I was talking to my dad yesterday. He drove me to work. For those of you that don't know, I drive from Charlotte to Raleigh every week. And with work ramping up, he's like, I just want to make sure you're safe on the road and you're not too tired. Let me drive you. He's an icon. He's a king. Love him. Legend.
So this was a lady from the single mixer, okay, and from there, what it sounds like she's a daddy's girl. It sounds like her father has taken a really good care of her and probably spoiled her.
Anyways, we've been talking a lot about my trip to Paris that I'm going to be going to for a month and a half starting in December. He feels extremely anxious about it. He's an extremely anxious guy, especially when it comes to his daughters. So this all tracks. I'm not too worried about him. This is what he does. It kind of threw a wrench in everything that he was thinking about, because I also mentioned that I was going to be dating while I was there. And that really took him up motherfucking top. Anyways, I start talking about my dating ideology, my methodology, my testing structure, all of that.
So she just said, I started telling him about my dating ideology, my testing structure, okay, my mentality, okay. So think about that. Let's go back. My dating ideology, my testing structure, my mentality.
Motherfucking top. Anyways, I start talking about my dating ideology, my methodology, my testing structure.
My dating ideology, my methodology, my testing structure. Okay. So she has her own vetting process for guys that she meets. So she went to the singles mixer, but she's probably met a lot of men outside of that singles mixer. So let's see what her dad says.
All of that. He's so quiet. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, Dad, is there something wrong? You're not even responding. You're just quiet. He was like, I'm kind of realizing that you might be the problem.
Welcome to the next generation of website creation. Wix Harmony. Get the power of AI and the freedom of drag and drop to turn your world into a website with purpose and a brand that's entirely
Hold on.
shape. Work alongside Aria, your personal AI agent. Ask for anything from pages to sections, and there it is. Then
lost control of my screens there. All right. So she said after she talked about her dating, her testing method, her methodology, the way she vets guys, her dad got quiet. So I suspect what she told her dad listened to it and said, this is like crazy. This is unreasonable. And the reason you're not paired off is because of these things that you're thinking and you're doing. Okay. This almost never gets talked about, but thank you to this lady for sharing this. Yeah, guys, I don't have the premium. I need to, maybe I should just go ahead and deduct it from my business, but maybe, yeah, since I'm using the Dr. Thunder model here. But that's the significance to me from that opening. Fair use.
Very toxic. I'm like, okay. like, is there a point? Like, are you going somewhere with this? He's like, on the one hand, like, I'm glad, like, that makes me a lot less worried about you. But on the other hand, like, this isn't normal. He's like, God, none of this is normal in this country.
This isn't normal. It really makes you wonder what she told her father about how she vets guys and selects guys. This is not normal. Okay, so also think about the blackdemographics.com divorce data. Did she describe reasonable things to her father?
Isn't normal. This world isn't normal. Like, I'm so tired of this generation thinking that we're dating in precedented times. We are in totally unprecedented times. And you know what the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Unprecedented times call for innovation. We're doing things differently over here. No, I kind of feel like a woman in STEM, a hidden figure.
Now, salute.
So he plays that drop to this white lady right here. Poor. All right. Fair use.
Now, y'all know that I did a video on DW, a couple of weeks ago. Now you see who's the problem.
So he just clowned her by calling her DW. Do you guys know who DW is? I didn't know who DW was before watching this. Do you guys know who DW is? Do you guys know who DW is? And why he called her DW? Okay, this is AC calling her DW. I think she's attractive enough, with a good attitude. I think she's attractive enough for my purposes. There are a lot of ladies like that here in DC where I live. But this is DW. This is why he called her DW. Guys, behave. That's DW. I never really watched Dora the Explorer. But that's who he was talking about. That's why he called her DW. Okay, let's move on because I don't want to. I have to run out in a little bit. That's DW. But again, these are questions that nobody's asking. These are okay. So you guys are saying from Arthur. Okay, I'm not familiar. Maybe that was his female co-star, but I think he was referring to Dora the Explorer. Okay, but nobody's really talking about what he's talking about here.
Now you see who's the problem. Remember, she was doing the dating mixers, and she went, and it was more guys. I mean, excuse me, it was more women than men, and she just had an issue with it, and she had an issue with the idea that men are the prize. And it's funny that her father is trying to put her on, and her response to her father is doing the same thing over and over. It's the definition of insanity. And that's what she didn't get. Her father's trying to tell her that. Her father's saying, hey, you doing the same thing over and over in your life is not getting you the results that you want. Maybe you need to switch it up. I
can tell you one thing. I know that saving money, budgeting your money, being careful with your resources, that is not quote unquote sexy. Okay. So having not traveled, not having stamps in your passport, that's not sexy. Okay. For this particular archetype, not eating at Michelin star restaurants, not having an exciting life, that's not sexy. So I imagine those elements and maybe others were a part of her vetting process, things that her father would not have seen as being important for her daughter finding a husband.
And instead of listening to her father, what does she do? She get up here, right, and criticize her father's, assessment of her. Now, remember, this is a private conversation between a daughter and a father. You think the father is online talking about his daughter and her bad choices? But she jumps online and talks about her father and criticize what he has to say about her dating choices, her lifestyle. And she, you going to Paris to do what? To do what? To do the dating? You think it's different over there? You think it's different over there? You think your image is not tainted over there? See, what these Keishas do, right? If they do get a chance to travel.
So you notice he just used the archetype there, Keisha. And so I asked you earlier, is Keisha just in the hood? Okay. Some would argue Keisha is degreed and is in corporate America and in the government as well. Is Keisha restricted by education?
They'll try to travel, to a different country, go elsewhere, go to Italy. You see some of them going to Italy, some of them going to France, right? And it's what the strange thing for them, because it's strange for them, they get the same results. And you know why? Because their image globally is dirt. It's not just over here. It's not just over here. It's across seas also. Across seas, their image is dirt. That's what they don't get. And for her to think that she's going to get a different outcome over there, that's where a father is probably like, what? You doing what? Because fathers, when it comes to their daughters, they want their daughters to be married.
I agree with that. I think fathers do want to see their daughters pair off and get married. All right. I do agree with that. But I think the question is, what are the fathers teaching their daughters to look for, and what to accept, and what's acceptable, and what's unrealistic? What role are those fathers playing in the vetting process today?
They want their daughters to be married. They don't want their daughters growing old and alone by themselves. They want somebody to take care of their daughters. They want a man in their daughter's life, somebody that's going to take care of them, protect them, and also, make sure that she makes the right decisions. But in order for that to happen.
So did you guys hear that? Someone to make sure that she makes the right decisions. Someone to make sure that she makes the right decisions. Okay, that implies a certain amount of guidance. That implies a certain amount of leadership. How well received is male guidance in male leadership today? Are male guidance and male leadership readily accepted today? Saving money, budgeting money, planning things out, that's boring. That's not sexy. All right? Please smash that like button. Guys, let me know what you think there in the chat.
What they're starting to realize is that it can't, when they've been indoctrinated with Keisha culture. And the fathers are realizing it. And sometimes they blame themselves. I did a video a long time ago talking about Keisha culture. And I said that a lot of fathers, you got to stop blaming yourselves. You got to stop blaming yourselves because you did enough.
So here AC he's telling fathers, okay, you can't. So apparently there are fathers blaming themselves for the decisions their daughters are making. Okay. And he's saying, fathers, you've done enough. You can't blame yourself. Well, have they? We don't know what they've told their daughters from the time they were in the crib to when they went away to college. I think AC right here is under he suggested indoctrination. So he's suggesting that they got indoctrinated at school. But I'm wondering what these said daughters were learning at home. Were they taught that they were princesses? Did their fathers tell them to look for productive black men? Did their fathers impart reasonable standards? Well, was there even a father there? All right.
You did enough. You did the best that you can. But it's you against an army. That's what you need to understand. It's you by yourself against an army. And what's the army that you're against? Keisha culture. Soon as your daughter step off the porch, she goes out into the world and she gets indoctrinated.
I'm grateful for many things, and talk-based therapy is one of them. Because Adam and I...
She goes out, she gets friends, she, go to school, and all that she's around, that you try to protect her from, and you do your best, but she has to go out in the world, and that's what the world is about. That's what the world is about. And you try to take her away from that world and try to put her in a right position to succeed especially when it comes to relationships, and it doesn't work out, and you blame yourself. You got to stop blaming yourself. You did the best that you could. You did the best you could. You told her, hey, listen, stop being aggressive towards men. Men are not your enemy. Have respect towards men. She watched you, which is strange. That's how strong Keisha Coach is.
So he makes the point here that she watched him, but then the question is, what was Dad's relationship like with Mom? Because it could have been a situation where Mom ran the house and wore the pants as well. You know, so she might have grown up seeing that. Brent C, yes, maybe after today, I will give it some more consideration and kick out the dough for the premium, especially since I'm using the Dr. Thunder model here. Fair use.
She watched you. She watched you go to work. She watched you take care of the family. She watched you do all that. And to watch her talk negative about black men in particular, but end up being a Brad worshiper, that has to hurt. That have to hurt. That's why when I did that video on King Richard, you don't think his soul is, hurting? You don't think he looks at his daughters and say, wow, they must really hate themselves?
So King Richard, he's talking about Richard Williams, Serena, and Venus's dad, because both Serena and Venus have divested. Let's go back to my list here. Both Venus and Serena have divested. I have a divester there under adjectives. So he just referenced Richard, Venus, and Serena. Okay. Please smash that like button if you're new to the channel. Please consider subscribing if you want to donate something. My information is there in the ticker, and you can leave a super chat as well. See, Brent, now I'm a little conscious about the ads. I'm going to play this a few minutes longer, and then we'll move on because it's almost at an hour and a half now. I didn't intend to do a marathon today.
You don't think he look at his daughters and then look at himself and say, well, for years, they don't watch Brad disrespect them, and he protected them and he stood up for them. And the first thing they do is get married to Brads that are less, that are way less when it comes to financial means.
So you notice he's using the term, let me go back to my list here. He's using the term Brad. Brad is an avatar for a white man. So over there under, he's right there under Boule. So Brad.
And share their wealth with them. Share their wealth with them. Again, Venus just got married to a Brad who's only worth $1 million. That's it. $1 million. Couple of you brothers is probably worth that. It's not hard to be worth that if you're focused. It's not hard to be worth that if you're focused. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying it's not hard when you're focused. Couple of properties and then your net worth is probably in there. A couple of properties in decent areas and your net worth is probably there.
So he just commented, it's not it can be done to become a millionaire. You just have to get a couple of properties in your portfolio and be smart with your money. But you can't just have anybody with you if you're looking to stack your cash and be smart with your money. You can't just boo up with anybody. That's the other part of that. Fair use. Brett, see, I feel like there's another commercial coming soon. You're gonna laugh again, but that's okay.
for $1 million, and she's worth $95 million.
Did you guys have an opinion on who the Williams sisters married? I really don't care, but in the chat, do you guys have any thoughts on that, or did you guys respond to that a certain way?
95. The Brad worship is insane, and to see his daughter going down the line, and you know she's gonna just be alone with her and a pet, her and a dog, her and a cat. If you notice, she has a pet in the back seat.
Did you guys see that? The fact that she has a little poodle in the back seat there. It comes out. It comes out several times, and you can see the reflection on the sunroof there. I didn't notice it before, but you can see her pet there in the back. So, professional woman, highly educated, going overseas. She's going to date there. She has an animal. There's nothing wrong with having animals. There are men who have animals, but there are certain things about her archetype that seem to be universal. I've seen a lot of this in DC. You guys have probably seen a lot of this where you are. Okay. He goes on to, I'm going to stop this one here. He goes on to say that her laugh was cringe, and her laugh was, because you could see it without the actual audio. Yeah, her laugh was a little cringe there. So I'm going to stop that one. That one's below in the description box. These are things that you won't see on MS Now. These are things that you won't see on CNN, in your conscious circles, on the Clifton Powell, that round table there. Okay, these are things that they won't discuss. Okay, so it's important to have. You might be looking around and thinking you're going crazy, but salute to gentlemen like AC who are covering these things. So there are actually 3 channels. There's Accountable Commentary, there's AC Reacts, and then there's the Blackout channel. And I realized that each of these are themed. Okay, we're going to look at a little snippet from the Blackout channel, a little snippet, because the Blackout channel has all of the crash outs and the run-ins with the police. The run-ins and the crash outs with the police. So all of those are there. But you need to I don't know, as you're moving about the world, okay, as a man, okay, and just in general, but just as a man, you need to understand what parts of the culture there are, and you need to know how to move about your surroundings. And you need to know when you're seeing these stories, of police incidents and police brutality on the news, you need to know in some instances why that situation, if that situation was benign and it escalated, okay, you need to have an idea. It's important to have an idea of what may have happened in terms of why it escalated. Did the person who got stopped, did they comply? Did they just hand their information to the police, or did they provoke the police? Did they cause an incident where there wasn't an incident? Was the person driving around with an expired license or expired tags? Okay. He's on his Blackout channel. He covers those things, and some of the things you see are actually very, very surprising. So we'll just watch a little bit of this one, and then I'll show the last one. Relevant to kill. I wanted to show the whole thing, but Brent C spooked me because I don't have the non-paid version of YouTube, and so the ads were popping up, and we're already at an hour and a half, so I just played most of it, but it's below in the description box. It sounds like you've already seen it. Brent C spooked me. Brent C is darn that Brent C. Okay, this one, what I will say about this one, what stands out to me about the Blackout channel in Cuff That Keisha, Cuff That Keisha, that's what he says over there, Cuff That Keisha, and Jiggity Jail, you know, okay. Class compression. The master teacher has talked about that in the Black community. We have something called class compression, where your educated folks are compressed together with your folks from the hood. Okay, AC calls that the rat community. See, it's right here on my list. The rat community. Okay, so if you may meet somebody and say, okay, well, she's educated, she has a briefcase, she works for the government, but she may still have these types of qualities. And so at one point, those of you who watched the Roger Report, I was there a lot about 5 years ago. And until Toya pointed out, he keeps mentioning his +1 from somewhere down south. I was talking about my +1 from down south. But what I will say about my +1 from down south was that she was educated, she had her master's, but she did exude many of the exact same behaviors that AC highlights on the Blackout channel. And the reason is because my +1 from down south, she was from a certain part. She was from a certain part of a major metropolis down south, and that part was the hood. So while she got her master's, while she got her bachelor's, while she got educated, those same parts of being in the hood, you know, that getting loud, that getting aggressive, that was still in her. So you can't assume because someone has a degree, they have a government job, they have a master's degree, that all of those elements are not present. Okay, that's just something I didn't understand. Fair use. This one is called Law Student of the Rat Community. Commits a felony over a traffic ticket. I'm going to play a little bit of this. A little bit. All right. And these are akin to what you would see on Cops, I think. Fair use.
Salute. We got another dust bucket of Akeisha riding dirty. Let's go.
10-4. It's going to be unreadable Georgia tag. We're going to be 4500 block of Edgemore on a gray sedan.
Why are you reading my tag and I just came
you got your license, registration, proof of insurance?
I do, but first of all,
step back in the car.
No, because I know my rights, and you just pulled over for no reason.
1245. Step back in the car.
I'm not gonna. I don't have anything. I'm gonna stay right here and talk to you.
So, those of you who watch Dr. Tia-san Johnson, one of the things Dr. Johnson, in covering Black masculinism, one of the things he points out is that Black men understand that when the police show up, you need to comply. Most do, but a lot of our women, they feel like they can confront the police just like this, prolong these things. They can protest. They can talk back to the police, and the police do give them. The police don't readily show them the same force that they would show us. So this apparently seems to be normal.
Okay.
Because
I'm giving you a lawful order.
I know my rights.
I'm giving you a lawful order.
And I'm giving you a lawful rights.
Do you? You giving him lawful rights?
I'm gonna read you your rights in a minute. Okay, I'm gonna sit down.
You're gonna read him his rights.
Because I've been to law school. I've been going through law school.
You've been to law school.
Congratulations.
So she just says she's been to law school. Okay, that's hilarious. Okay, Fair use, fair use.
I have 2 reasons for the traffic stop. Give me your license, registration.
Tell me why first, because
She ain't been in no law. Why they say this, man? Why they just be saying anything, man? You know what school she in? She in CNA school. You know, cleaning old people butts. Stop.
I didn't
lying.
do nothing. I'm just pulling around because I just came from my cousins and now I'm back over here to pull into my parking lot.
Okay.
So what did I
License,
do?
registration,
What
proof
did I
of
do
insurance.
for me to give you that?
License, registration, proof
Tell
of
me what
insurance.
I did for me to give you that
Once
first.
I get all your documents, I will give you that.
No, you have to tell me first what did I
just
do.
told you.
What did I do?
Once I get all of your information, I will give you.
I didn't do no illegal turn. I just came from around there. I really just came from the stop sign and pulled in. So I didn't understand what he's
license,
doing.
registration, proof of insurance.
Tell me what I.
So, guys, fair use for what it's worth. When there have been occasions where I've missed my registration deadline, and there are instances where I've missed my inspection deadline. I'm terrified driving around with expired tags or expired documents. So to readily drive around with expired stuff and to confront the police and to not comply when the police show up, that takes a lot of balls. So thank you, LIR, for the $5 super chat. He said she's a trap house lawyer. Yep, that's on the list too. Trap house, trapping, right there. Verbs, trapping. A relative yesterday. I guess in my family we had a discussion about Steve Harvey and his wife Marjorie, and a relative texted me yesterday and said, "Oh, we talked about Steve Harvey, and one of you guys said that him and Marjorie had split up. Well, they're together." And I said, "Well, we don't." I said, "I don't really care about Steve Harvey." And then immediately, minutes later, Trap Queen entered my mind, and I said, Marjorie Harvey. Trap Queen. That's another key term in the Urban Dictionary, because her first 2 husbands, again, it's not why we talked about, but Marjorie Harvey's first 2 husbands were big-time drug dealers. All right. Fair use.
Did first, sir.
You are going to go to jail for resisting if you do not provide
you're
legal
about to get
documentation.
sued for coming over here for pulling me over for no reason.
Okay.
Was you speeding? I wasn't speeding. We literally just came from around the corner. Nobody was speeding, none of that. So I'm confused. Where's my wallet? Because he's gonna get me. He's gonna piss me off for real. He's gonna go to this
law school.
Congress summoned Pharmaceutical Industry Trade Association CEOs to testify, but Big Pharma's
Yeah, right. The nerve, man. This is a 6th grade dropout. Dropped out in the 6th grade. Like, get out of here. Stop lying. Why do they lie like that? Going to court every week for traffic infractions is not going to law school. Like, what is she talking about, man? And she looks very dry. Besides the wigs they wearing, they skin be looking real dry because they don't moisturize their skin. They don't moisturize it. They all dried out because they drink alcohol. Alcohol dries out your skin. They drink alcohol. They smoke weed. They just do everything. Smoke cigarettes. They do everything. And it dries out their skins to the point where they just look like cardboard. Cardboard Keisha.
All right. So for the uninitiated, he doesn't hold back punches on this channel, and he actually enjoys giving commentary on the rat community. I'm going to play a few more minutes, and I'll move on.
It's gonna go bad for him.
Okay.
Is it gonna go bad?
I ain't do nothing. Tell me what I did.
I don't have to explain to you what she did.
Yes, you do.
Ain't do nothing.
You have to.
Look so ashy.
Answer me. What did I do?
When I get all of your documentation, I will provide that.
Ashy Keisha.
Just a second. I got pulled over, and I'm trying to figure out why he pulled me over. She ain't do nothing.
Sir,
hold on.
he passed.
You have to tell me why you pulled me over because you just literally, we're in the cluster and I wasn't even on the main road for you to pull me over.
I am asking for all your legal documentation.
I can give you that, but I need you to give me a legal reason why you pulled me over. Okay, can you give me your license, registration, and proof of insurance? Again, like I've asked. Okay, what's your badge number? What's your badge number and your name? When I get all of your legal documentation, what's your name and your badge number? Because you're just pulled me over for no reason.
So in most of these videos, this is what happens. The cops ask for the information. Why did you pull me over? Where's your supervisor? What's your badge number? You know, you had no reason. If you're not going to tell me why you pulled me over, I'm not going to give you my documents. So this happens in pretty much all the videos, all the recordings. All right. Fair use, fair use.
Again, I have 2 reasons for the stop.
Okay, so tell me before I give my damn information. Tell me.
That's not how that works.
That is how that works. I done been through this shit before and I done been through law school. So tell me before
What law school?
I done been through law school and I know what's going on. You supposed to read what you supposed to tell me what I've done.
If she passed the ball, I'm the Pope. I'm the Pope out here. She passed the ball.
Now can I have your license and registration?
She passed the LSAT?
Why you pulling me over so I can go ahead and hand you my license and stuff? Go ahead and tell me. Why you pulling me? Because you ain't got no reason. Exactly. You ain't got no reason. Like you ain't got no reason. Be standing by your door. Can you move from my door? No. Yes, you can. Move. Okay.
Villar says it right here. He says the police officers will not waste all this time when they pull over black men. That's right. That's what Dr. T.S. Johnson talks about. They go straight to force immediately.
Let me call somebody. Like, move from my door. I ain't got no choice but to call him now. Now I gotta call him. Cause what the hell?
Can I get your documentation?
Can you tell me
so
why
I can explain to you the reason for the stop?
I need you to go ahead and explain to me now.
This is not your stop.
This is my stop. This is my stop.
She's a law student, and her friend is what? What's your friend? An astrophysicist? Who's your friend?
This is not your stop.
That's her mama right now.
This is my traffic stop. I will explain to you the reason for the stop when I get all of your legal documentation.
Okay, tell me my legal reason so I can give you my legal documentation because I can give you my license. Yes, this is how it works.
Okay, give me your license.
Tell me why we're doing it.
Give me your license.
Tell me why we're doing it. I'll give you a hot pot. Don't touch me.
Step out of the car.
Here you go.
Step out of the car. Step out of the car. Step out of the car.
That's right. Regulators. What are we doing? Regulators. Cuff that Keisha.
All right. Oh boy. So Andre needs to copyright that, cuff that Keisha. So I think when he makes those, he waits for that part of it, because what happens is the cops eventually they reach the end of their patience and they just reach in and they grab the woman and pull her out and they turn her around and cuff her, and he just waits for that part, cuff that Keisha. So that's a 37-minute video. I think there are probably multiple segments to that, but that happens. This apparently happens a lot. Okay, and you only really hear about the end result. You never hear about, okay, well, I asked for this person's documents and they wouldn't give me the documents, and it turned into this whole back and forth. And then you think, okay, well, if the cop does capitulate and just backs off, then the cop looks like a punk. And then it's almost like a parent and a child, where the cops will get less compliance if they let these things go. So they almost have to assert their dominance when they're challenged like that. But that's from the Blackout channel. He covers that stuff for the most part over there. But going back to what I said, my plus one from down south, I remember we went to brunch one time here in DC, and there was an African there was a lot next door to the brunch restaurant, and there was no sign up. So we didn't know that we were paying to park there, or that we would have to. And when we left brunch, the Ethiopian guy walked over and put a sign up, and he said, "Okay, you got to pay us to get your car out." And I'll never forget this. She fought using that same energy. She fought tooth and nail. She refused to pay. I was pretty much willing to give the guy the $5 or the $10, but she fought and fought and fought and fought. And then another officer came up who was a VW. She listened to both sides of the story. And she said, "You know what, sir, you can't charge them if the sign wasn't here initially." So in that moment, I said, "That's cool. You know what? That's cool that you fought that way. I admire that, because I would have just paid the guy." So in some instances, that can pay dividends. The ability to fight authority and fight for what you think and fight for what you want. But in personal instances where you're trying to work something out in an interpersonal relationship and you're on the other side, that could be a tough quality to deal with. But it certainly doesn't help when you're being detained by the police there. Okay, last one, then I gotta run. Brent C got me shook, man, about these commercials. All right, this one. So we talked about with DW. We talked about the singles mixers and a question now. Actually, society wide, it seems like young men, particularly Gen Z, Gen Alpha, the younger guys, they're pulling back. Older men are pulling back as well. And one question is, where are the men going? Where are the men? How come there are no men? Okay, so I'm going to play the first 10 minutes of this one, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. But I just wanted to pay tribute to this gentleman, because he comes out and he rebuffs this stuff, and he covers this stuff, and he gives commentary on these things, commentary that you won't see on MS Now, in Our Families, in CNN, and vice versa. Fair use. This one is called "She Wants to Know Where All the Black She wants to know where are all the black men." Give that a like. Please smash that like button. We're in the last 15 to 20 minutes. If anyone wants to make a donation to the channel, my information is there in the ticker, and you can leave a super chat. Thank you to those of you who have left super chats. And if you're watching on the replay, gang, and you want to leave a super thanks, those are welcome as well. Oh, and also, please hype the video. Hype the video. If you're watching on the playback, please hype the video. Dr. L has entered the building. He has a high-profile interview with Dr. Ronald Neal in about an hour and a half. That means I need to run to the store and run back so I can sit and watch and eat my dinner. Salute to Dr. L. He has Dr. Neal in about an hour and a half. All right. 10 minutes and then we're done. Fair use.
Video, what I started noticing, I started seeing super things, right? And salute to the brothers that support the channel. But what I'm gonna start doing now is calling out the super things. Every time somebody hit the channel with a super thanks, I'm gonna give a shout out to you brothers. And want to shout out to Deep State, Benjamin DVS.
I'll just let it go.
28 Randall, Life is Good, Jeter, and 2 P's, right? Those are the brothers that hit the channel with a super thanks. Salute to y'all. I appreciate it. I don't ask, so it's really appreciated when you don't ask for anything and brothers just decide to support anyway. So salute to y'all. I will be, I'm
going to skip ahead for time's sake.
Mention get to this. I'm going to start doing that. Salute to y'all. Let's get to this. Plenty of times, you starting to see, videos like the one you're about to see where they asking where are the men, right? Now she's asking where are the men in ATL, right? But it's not just there. It's not ATL. It's not just there. You can find, situations like this in California, New York, New Jersey, Florida, Illinois. You can find a lot of these situations going on. Michigan. You can find a lot of these situations going on because brothers are fed up. They're done.
So apparently, black men in this instance are dropping out everywhere. Okay, fair use.
They're done. And the reason why is because you're asking where the men at. And what they really mean is where the black men. It's hilarious because you had nothing but access to them. They had nothing but total access to you, black men. Total access to you. But they figured since you're a given, that's how they looked at you. You're a given. They looked at you like, why compete for you when you're there anyway?
So remember Dr. Tiasan Johnson's revelation that the young men in his classes, they don't have lists. Okay, so that in part lends itself to, well, they'll be there. They'll always be there. They don't want anything. Okay, so we don't have to do anything for them. That's what that lends itself to. So if you send your son, your nephew, your mentee out into the world without, in terms of partnering, in terms of a list of things they should get, then they're not going to get anything. And the assumption is going to be that, you don't have to do anything for them.
Right? That's how they looked at it. That's how you look. Why do they have to compete for you when you're going to be there anyway? So they went competing for Brad, competing for Hector, but they never competed with you because they figure you're there regardless. They competed for the gangsters, the criminals, the drug dealers. They competed for them, the scammers, but they never competed for you, the productive black man. And
see, and I appreciate that. He keeps on his channels, he champions that moniker over and over and over again. The productive black man. We didn't have a name before. And that's a name you could be proud of. I'm a productive black man. All right.
Now the productive black man is realizing his worth and saying, if I'm worth more than this, what am I missing?
Message.
And when you went out of your way to avoid them and start going to, date out, they called you a sellout. You know what's funny? You never said that to them when they decided that they wanted to date out. You never said anything.
Didn't some of you guys just say you didn't care about who the Williams sisters married? Did any of you guys care about Meghan and Harry? Because that was a big deal. They were going, the ladies were going ham over Meghan marrying Prince Harry. But I didn't really care. Did you guys care? do any of us really care when that happens? But who remembers what happened with Kobe when Kobe Bryant died? Who remembers? I mean, there are so many instances that are similar to what happened when Kobe Bryant died. When a black man with money has someone other, that causes a lot of angst and heartburn. Fair use, fair use. Please smash the like button if you want to leave a donation. That information is there. Let me get rid of that. This darn pop-up. I have this pop-up here. Come on, go away. All right.
You kept it moving. Okay, you ain't checking for me because I'm not into all the illicit things that's going on with that, ratchet activity. I'm not into, outside fighting. I'm not into, selling drugs.
So the Urban Dictionary, ratchet. You notice he just mentioned ratchet. Okay, for those of you unfamiliar with ratchet, it's right there under adjectives. Ratchet. Fighting outside, drug dealing. These are all things that he associates with what he calls the rat community. In addition to all of the fatherless homes.
I'm not into doing stick-ups. I'm not into carjacking. I'm not into none of that. And since I'm not into that, I'm not interesting to you. Okay, fine. You decided to go to women who weren't into that neither. Didn't want males that was into that either.
So those of you who are not in the know, BHM has a clip of a woman saying that she's trying to go cold turkey off of Pookies. Okay. But she's opining to the productive men, sag your jeans a little bit, get rid of the standard speakers in your car, come home late, pull out a band. I should have put that on the list. A band is $1,000. Pull out $1,000 from the bank, come home and throw it on the dresser. Okay. She's trying to go cold turkey from Pookies, but she wants the educated men that she's trying to date now to take on some of those qualities. So this is a real thing.
And when you did, they called you a sellout. Not realizing that, no, I'm not selling out. I'm buying in. And you saying, well, AC, what are you buying in? I'm buying in the peace.
Message.
That's what I'm doing. I'm buying in. I'm taking my resources elsewhere. And now look at them.
So I'm leaving Target and I just had this thought like, wow, it's just so many beautiful, educated Black women in Atlanta. Like, what the heck am I doing
That's
here?
cat,
Like,
but anyway,
the pickings are too wide.
Guys, if you notice my list here, one of the terms I have under things, in addition to baby hairs, is lace fronts. Just FYI, since we're watching this lady here, lace fronts.
It's not enough men out here. Like, no wonder why I'm single, because there's literally so many women. They could have these men or women, whatever you like. I like men. So these men could literally have a different bed, a different nice woman every day, like a good girl. Like, which states are the men in? Where y'all at? Where? Black men, brown men.
So just like DW 2 videos back, you wonder how many men she met that she discarded. This lady right here, you wonder how many men she has met that she has discarded. Okay. Warrior 3R, thank you for the $5 super chat. He says, Keisha is an addict in search of a constant dopamine hit. She is constantly feeling for the dopamine spike. Fair use.
Doesn't matter. Let me play that again. Listen to what she had to say. Let me play that one more time.
So I'm leaving Target and I just had this thought, like, wow, it's just so many beautiful, educated Black women in Atlanta. Like, what the heck am I doing here? Like,
so she's putting emphasis on beautiful. Okay, men care about beautiful, educated. To some degree, that's important. But what about other things? What other things are important besides your beauty and the fact that you have a diploma? Is there anything else that's important? Fair use.
the pickings are too wide. It's not enough men out here. Like, no wonder why I'm single, because there's literally so many women. They can have these men or women, whatever you like. I like men. So these men could literally have a different bed, a different nice woman every day, like a good girl. Like, which states are the men in? Where y'all at? Where? Black men, brown men.
Now I want to say this, right? You had social media, dating apps. I've paid attention just watching. I watch men try to holler at these women. I watched them, try to holler at them, hit them with an inbox. I watched them. I watch men try to get a connection with these women online, and they paid no attention to them. You know why they didn't pay any attention to them? Here's the kicker. You know why they really didn't pay any attention to these guys? You don't have 200-300 likes on your photo. You on Facebook, you don't have like 300-400 likes for every photo you put out.
Shout out to Amir Obsidian Ali. He has his own critics, but he did say years ago that social media is the new Jumbotron. So if you don't post what you're doing, and if it doesn't look exciting, okay, that will hurt your social credit score. So you need to look, as a man, your life needs to look exciting. So that's an aspect of social media. Another aspect of social media is ladies are looking at their own social media and they're seeing what their friend is doing, or somebody they don't know is doing, and they're traveling to Dubai, or maybe she's getting a G-Wagon. Shout out to Jason Black. Or they're eating they're having a good time at brunch. So people are gauging, in this instance, ladies are gauging your life based upon your social media. And if your life doesn't look exciting, and even in person, your life is being gauged. And if your life doesn't look exciting, if your life doesn't sound exciting, then you may be discarded from the pool. But also, what qualities did AC describe for productive Black men earlier in this stream? Discipline, hardworking, focused, delaying gratification. Okay, all of those things collectively don't amount to being quote unquote exciting.
You on Instagram, you don't have 50,000, 60,000, 100,000 followers. This is how they gauge what type of guy that they should get with based off of social media clout, which means nothing. Doesn't add up to nothing. These are people who have social media clout but poor. And this is who they chase at.
Poor.
So a regular guy that's not in the mix, not trying to be in the mix, he put out a photo and he got 20, 30 likes of his people, his friends and family. He has an Instagram and it only has 100, 200, 300 people following him. Oh, that guy's a loser to them.
So that's a part of our current social climate. And then the other question is, if you do take a trip to Costa Rica, if you do take a trip to Antigua or the Bahamas, and you're sitting and you're having a sangria or something that looks exciting, do you post it on social media? Do you want to attract people who only want to be associated with you because you got your passport stamped or because you look like you're having a good time? Okay. And the people who are posting those things, are they doing it just for clicks and views? Are they broke and struggling once they go home from that trip? Who paid for that trip? This is our current climate today. And where does the productive black man find himself in this gamish?
Because he's not in the mix. You're not in the mix. They're not trying to hear what you got going on.
Imagine if every corner of your kitchen was as iconic.
You're not in them streets. They're not trying to hear what you got going on. See, they think that, you're going to be around when things get tough for them, when they're not wanted no more by these, these dregs of society. They don't think it's a shelf life to that. There's a shelf life to all that. And there's a shelf life to playing around. Yeah, you can play around all you want. Sooner or later, they're going to tell you, the world is going to tell you, your experience is going to tell you, hey, look around. Everybody's older. You in your 30s, you're 35, 36, you in your 40s, and you still can't find a guy?
Guys, my Curtis Scoot intro, Curtis said life is not about having fun all the time. There's times when you have to buckle down and work, and you can have fun sometimes, but life is not all about having fun. Okay, that's one of the reasons I kept playing that as my intro, because that's a real life thing. You have people who their only concern is how much fun are we having? How much fun are you having? How much fun is my life? How much fun is your life? And if we're not having fun, something is wrong. She's having fun over there. How come we're not having fun?
Do you think it's a wrap for you? Do you think you have more than enough time to get the guy that you like? No, you don't. You wasted it. You see, one thing Becky and and Maria understand is that if they want to be in a healthy relationship, a marriage that produces everything that they want, they got to start early. They got to get with that guy when she's in her 20s and she's building with him. You don't get with a guy after he done built everything, but you didn't help him build any of that. That's backwards. So you looking for a guy that has it all, but you didn't help at all. Why would he get with you?
That's another part of the conundrum right there. Okay, who do you reward with whatever you've built? Who do you reward with your winnings? Okay, who's gonna squander your winnings? Who's gonna steal your winnings? But who do you reward with that?
You know, I built myself up. I got my own little business. Or I built myself up and I have a trade. I'm making good money. Took me a while to get here. Why would I get with you now that I'm built up? Where was you when I was down, when I was building? Oh, you called it struggle love. That's what you called it. You called it struggle love.
No broke no broke ashies or dusties. Okay, no broke ashies or dusties.
You called building with a guy struggle love. Becky didn't call it struggle love.
No 50-50? Anybody?
You know, Maria didn't call it struggle love. Ling Ling didn't call it struggle love. Marrakesh didn't call it struggle love. They understood the assignment. You called it struggle love, but it's ironic that you called it struggle love, and years later, now you're struggling.
Bounce.
And now you're wondering where the men at. They're not in your vision. They're not around. They're not around you. They're gone. You're done. It's finito for you. You had total access to them. Total access. They didn't have to do much. They could have just went outside, bat their eyes at any one of the guys outside that was working. No, they weren't batting their eyes at the guy working in the supermarket. They weren't batting their eyes at the guy working in the warehouse, the mailman. They weren't doing that. The taxi cab driver. They weren't doing that. They weren't doing that. The guy driving the Pepsi trucks. They weren't doing that. The young guy working in McDonald's and, working in KFC. They looked at him as lame.
Yeah, working at McDonald's, that's a bad word, even if you're a young guy just starting out in your working career, it's an entry-level job, working at McDonald's, low respect.
They looked at him like he was a lame, and he was 20 years old. How is he lame? He's 20. How much money you expect him at 20 to have? He's working up there. He's building himself up. He got himself a little job.
So I think that's something Dr. T.S. Johnson also talked about in his classes. The girls, young ladies expect their male counterparts to have millions of dollars in their 20s. You're only going to get that if you're a pro athlete or if you're a rapper who has got on, or if you're one of the lucky tech guys to create Microsoft or Apple or something like that. But most guys in their 20s don't have that kind of money because it takes time to build. It takes time for a man to build and to become who he's going to become. That's not talked about enough in our families. Okay, realistically. Okay. I think I think this guy right here. I think this guy turned me on to the Black channel. I think he might have sent me my first Blackout channel, accountable commentary video. So salute to Abdul Gaines. Looks like he's getting over the flu or something. It's snowing here in the nation's capital. So salute to you, Abdul Gaines, and salute to Marmar up in the great state of Ohio. The presidential election goes the way that Ohio goes. He says, the great doctor, thank you for being here, Marmar. This is my Michigan football and basketball compadre here. All right. Thank you for this. This is also the term that accountable commentary has made famous. No reach back. So Claudia Jordan mentioned the term circling the block. I didn't put that on my list. Circling the block. That's another synonym for the reach back. Whatever happened before with us didn't go well, but I'm going to circle back and reach back for you. I'm going to circle the block and reach back for you. So AC coined the term no reach back.
He got himself a little job while he's working on getting a trade. He's no bum, but he understand that, he needs to work and he has a little job. You looked at him like he was a lame. Oh, yeah, so he wasn't making a big buck. So what? Oh, you couldn't wait, though. So you got with Ray Rizzle from the Blizzle. Ray Rizzle out there pumping poison day in, day out. What's funny, though? Ray Rizzle never gave you any real money, did he? No, he didn't give you any real money. He didn't set you up, did he? Absolutely not. Ray Rizzle didn't do anything for you. You was just infatuated with the Pookies and Ray Rays that was out there destroying the community. Wearing all the fancy jewelry, the driving the nice cars. You just wanted to be a part of that. You didn't care if they gave you anything. You just wanted to be a part of that. You wanted to be part of that street limelight that you see on reality TV. Ray Rizzle did nothing for you. Did he buy you a house? No. Did he set your children up? The children you had with him, did he set them up with any trust funds, anything? No. Did he pay for you? Did he set you up with a business, paid everything for you to set up to get your own? No, he didn't do none of that. He did absolutely nothing. You know what he did? He came through, gave you a couple of bucks here and there. Bought you a fake bag every now and then. Oh, no, Ray Rizzle from the Blizzle was not going to the Gucci store. No, he was getting you the fake. You know why he was getting you the fake stuff? You know how many Pookies and Ray Rays be clowning, talking about how much fake stuff they got? You know why? Because you don't know the difference. How you know the difference? You don't know the difference between the stitching, the material, none of that. You're poor. You didn't know anything. So you thought he was buying you all these nice bags. No, he was buying you the bootleg. He wasn't spending no money on you. Nothing compared to what a productive black man would have done for you in the future once he got everything together. And now you're looking for them because 3 strikes you're out. You're done.
I wonder if this is a part of the video or an ad.
It's a wrap.
Okay, that was part of the video. It's a wrap. That's another thing he likes to say is it's finito. You're washed. You're done. But yeah, salute to him. Let me give Accountable Commentary a round of applause. There are a lot of parents of productive Black men looking and saying, why is my son not paired off, or why is my son not seeing anybody? This is a part of our modern community now. This is a dynamic. This is a conundrum. Productive men, when they're on the upward trajectory, and even once they get there, if their life doesn't look exciting, then they will get passed over. Salute to Accountable Commentary for your hard work and for putting the magnifying glass on all of these things. Let me see. Let me try to load up Curtis Goon talking about that. Then I'm going to wrap the stream up. I didn't mean to be on here for 2.5 hours, but I appreciate you guys hanging out here with me. Let's see. That was Black History Month. Probably 2024. Let's see. Cash of the Community. Kevin Samuels. Shiny Neon Vests. January. March. Nope. What year was that? Maybe it was last year. I think it was last year. Yep, there it is. Curtis Scone. Yeah, there it is. This is the segment from my talk with Curtis Scone where he talked about life is not about having fun all of the time. And there are no political solutions for cultural deficiencies. This is that clip right here. I'm just waiting for it to load. It's a powerful clip. Okay, something's going on with the oh, there it is. All right. Life is not about having fun all of the time.
So yeah, we have to take what we do seriously, whether it be politics, work, media, everything. You know, one thing I noticed as an employer, because in my mental health business, and by the way, I'm opening a mental health business in Detroit. Well, technically in Grosse Pointe, right? But it's on the line with Detroit. And one thing I learned about hiring people, and most of my employees are Black, right? That we will rush to finish things that are important so we could do things that are not. And I believe it's an immaturity there. People just don't understand that, you know, life isn't about having fun all the time. You have to have fun sometimes, I agree. But as an adult, there's time where you have to just say, okay, listen, I got to get down to work right now. And I don't think enough of us value that time or really understand the fruits of that labor. Somehow we think things are just going to be without that kind of effort. And culturally, there's a deficiency there. That's why I always say that there's no political solution for cultural deficiencies.
There's no political solutions for cultural deficiencies. What's one of the first questions that you get when you meet someone? At least that I hear. What do you do for fun? And if it's not if it's something like writing books, journaling, exercising, reading at at Barnes & Noble. Well, what do you do for fun for 2 people? What do you do for fun that I can be involved in? Okay, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. All right, guys, I need to run out and grab some groceries. I want to get comfortable when Dr. L is talking to Dr. Ronald Newell. I've had both of them on the channel, so salute to those guys. Thank you guys for hanging on. I didn't mean to talk for 2.5 hours, but let me give Accountable Commentary one more round of applause. I hope he doesn't mind that I featured him, but he's doing a lot of good work because our families aren't telling us this stuff. Our families aren't showing us this stuff, even though many of them were well-intentioned and, had us going to school, studying, getting good grades, going and showing up to our jobs on time, doing the right things. They didn't tell us about this part of our community and what was going to happen to our community. Now, many of them didn't know. Many of them didn't know that things were going to start to take this wayward path. But, and many of them don't know how the environment has shifted. Okay, and that their things may be past the point of no return. And there may be few survivors, and they may not know. So I'm going to give Accountable Commentary one more round of applause. I had to turn the sound up there, so it's more pronounced. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap the stream up. I hope you guys liked it. Hopefully, I won't get stricken for any of this. I did give my own commentary throughout. Jules, I'm going to email you. I'm going to email you as soon as we get done. I will be doing. I may not be able to stream much during March, but we'll talk offline. So if we could do it early March, maybe the first week, that would be helpful because I probably won't be able to do it. I might not be able to do it for another 3 weeks, but I'll email you offline. Guys, I wrote a book, The Engineers, A Western New York Basketball Story, Part 1, Innocent Basketball Dreams. It's a story about life as well, and it's a story about young black men and boys. And if you don't teach your men and boys, if you don't teach your boys what to do and how to do it, then there will be consequences later on. So it's about more than just the great game of basketball. It's about a lot of us as well. You guys there in the chat, this is about you guys as well. And I do believe in the power of story. For the hardcover, I'm selling it to my YouTube subs for $27. For the paperback, I'm selling this for $22. If you want a signed copy, just send me those amounts using one of the methods there in the ticker. But send me your mailing address as well. This is also available on Amazon in an ebook, hardcover, and paperback editions. You can also go to my online store entitled Big Words Authors. Okay. If you think you want to get one and you want to use plastic, for the overseas guys, for the guys not in the United States, like Andre, you might just want to order it off Amazon because I would have to. I think Crimson Cure said the same thing with her book. It has to, there's different shipping through the United States Postal Service, so you might want to just order it off Amazon if you want one. And if you have points on Amazon, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can knock the price down to $0. And then if I'm in your area or I do a book signing in your area, I could sign it there. So just FYI. Chaos Rain, who's always on the Ask Your Brother podcast show now. He's passing through. Salute Chaos. All right, guys, I need to run out and do some things hopefully before Dr. L hosts Dr. Neil. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to try to squeeze in 2 more throughout the week, one on Shahrazad Ali, and then maybe I can get Passport OG to come over to wrap up my Black History Month coverage. Chaos Rain says, what is the Urban Dictionary? So Chaos Rain, there are lots of If you look up the Urban Dictionary in Google, something will come up. But I compiled my own crude list here because Accountable Commentary across his 3 channels, Accountable Commentary, AC Reacts, and the Blackout channel, he talks about the terms from the Urban Dictionary in addition to adding his own. I think he was the one who founded the rat community. Okay, but he regularly talks about Keisha and Brad and Becky and Ling Ling and Hector and Keisha culture. So this is my Urban Dictionary list, Chaos Reign. All right. I'm not going to go over all these, but you can see there for archetypes: Becky, Bedwench, Bootlicker, Boule, Brad, ConcuSurf, that's from Dr. Tiasan Johnson, Coon, Educated Lame, Hector, Hyena, Hood Rat, Karen, Keisha, Ling Ling, Lioness, Maria, Mr. Goodbar, Octanes 85 through 800, that's BGS, Passport Bro. I'm sorry, that's from BGS to Octanes. Passport Bro, Pookie, Productive Black Men, the Rat Community, Tether, Tyrone, Trap Queen. Okay, these are all terms today that we use in some way, shape, or form when talking about the Black community. Adjectives: ashy, baby daddy, baby mama, Blake, that's from Kevin Samuels, bougie, Blue Henry, that's from Kevin Samuels, coon, corny, degreed, divester, drip, dusty, Henry, high value man, hood booger, male centered, master of the universe, passport bro, pick me, queens, ratchet, scrub, simp, strong and independent, swag, unbothered, washed. Verbs: glowing up, living my best life, simping, talking greasy / slick. I'll credit Jason Black for that. Trapping, turning up, and then random things I thought about: baby hairs, black girl magic, houses in Virginia. That's something Accountable Commentary really championed and brought out for us. That is a code word for something. Does anybody know what houses in Virginia is? J's, those are Jordans, lace fronts, matriarchy, OnlyFans, patriarchy, the gram, quarter zips. Does anybody know? I won't say it because I think that'll get the channel striked. And there's a reason that he uses houses in Virginia. Does anybody know what houses in Virginia means? Okay. Dr. L wants the list. Okay. We're gonna get some traction here. We're gonna champion some of this stuff. Yeah, Will I 3R? He has it. That's what houses in Virginia stands for. I didn't know what Accountable Commentary was talking about when I first started watching and he first started saying it, but eventually it clicked. Let's just say the DJ Pope, Jason Pope, the guy who was taking all those ladies, all those sisters on Tizzy tours. That's another term that Accountable Commentary coined, Tizzy tour. When Jason Pope was taking all those Keishas on Tizzy tours, he gave them houses in Virginia. Okay, so houses in Virginia. So Dr. L wants the list. Okay, yeah, we can always add to it. All right, guys, that's all I got. Dr. L, I believe, is having Dr. Ronald Neal in less than an hour, so I need to run and come back. Chaos Reign, it's related to that. I won't say it verbally here. But everybody, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'm going to try to squeeze 2 more in for Black History Month during the week. Let's see if I can do it. All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you for watching and commenting and hanging out, and thank you for the super chats. As always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you all the next time. And on behalf of Accountable Commentary, salute Black men, especially to the productive Black men. Chaos, I'm not sure what this means. Can drop the link call link at, I don't know what that means. What does that mean? All right, I just got a text from somebody, and I'll say this, that while Chaos writes that, I'm just gonna say, I know some people may look on, relatives, other acquaintances, say, well, why is Dr. Dunbar covering this? Why is he talking about this? Why is he not covering things like Black people's voting rights getting stripped? Okay, because the current administration, one of the things they want to do is strip away Black people's voting rights. Well, I think we've got bigger problems. I mean, voting rights, yeah, that's important. I'm not saying that's not important, but community-wide and as a people, we've got some deep-seated issues. Okay, and I kind of feel like that the current administration is the least of our worries, and that's why I like to cover parts of our history here that are often not covered. And it may not be the history that you have heard about. It may not be the history that you want to know about. It may not be the history that you want out there, but it's our history nonetheless. And while we celebrate Dr. King and Barack Obama and Bill Cosby and Maya Angelou, there is a dark underbelly to the Black community and parts of our history. And all of it needs to be taught, which is why I'm going to give Accountable Commentary another round of applause. Chaos Reign did not share what he wanted. So after this applause, this final applause for Accountable Commentary, I'm going to click the end stream. All right, everyone. Salute to you, productive Black men, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take care. Bye-bye.